are, cover to cover, doing it one more time on a Thursday. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. We are taping this way in advance because I think I said on last week's podcast that I have to be in Canada, in Calgary, and then I have to be in Hawaii, and I had to cover a couple of dates. That's why I have Steve stayed around. Steve Marmelstein's still with us. Steve, thank you for coming back and being here and sitting in and helping us out through these what we like to call in show business evergreen episodes. Evergreen episodes, remember, which we say in show business is a story that can kind of last. You know, it's not as that one that'll be dead tomorrow. It'll last. So we're doing an evergreen show for you people because I am in Canada right now in Calgary. And Alex is here as always. Alex, thank you for always being here. And thank all of you people for listening to Cover to Cover. I feel like it's going exactly the way I wanted it to go. We're getting a nice little following, and we are increasing every week, and people really seem to be enjoying it. And I like all your critiques, some of them, and I like all your ideas, and we're having a fun time, and we're getting a little kooky. And, you know, we're just able to say, in a world we live in now, I'm able to say things that you just can't say anymore. And I don't want to be one of those people who's like, you can't make fun of anybody anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Comedy's dead. It's not. But it is fun to, like Steve, who's here with me, we worked together on Chelsea Lately. And I know some of you remember Chelsea Lately, and it was a fun. But we did, and this wasn't even that long ago, we did things on that show every day that were, and this is to Chelsea's credit, she would say things and do things, and we all would, that were just like unbelievable. Like looking back on it today, we were like, there's no way I used to play a character called the Gay Caveman, which was like this flamboyantly, it was the world's first gay person. We had read a story. I remember Steve and I used to sit together in a writer's room at the end of the table, and we had read a story about an archaeological dig where they dug up some bones of a person, and it was male bones. They were somehow able to figure out it was male bones, but it was also covered in jewelry and earrings and stuff. And we just jokingly said, "Oh my God, that's the first gay man. They found the first gay man." And I said something along the lines of, "You think you invented fire? I've been flaming for years," or something like that. And it just became like a character that we did called Gay Caveman. And we got like a $25 caveman costume at some store down the street, Sundry store, Steve says. and we, basically did this thing for 5 years, this flamboyantly gay caveman who would comment on all the gay stories that we had, would have whatever. If a gay bar opened in some city, and we would comment on it. One day, I'm sorry if this is boring people who don't know Chelsea Lately, but one day, I don't know if you remember, it was a few years back when everyone was protesting. What was that hamburger place?
No, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, everyone was protesting everyone was protesting Chick-fil-A because they I guess they were giving some money. The guy's a very religious guy who owns it. That closed on Sunday, I believe, and he's a very Christian guy who owns it. And he was giving money to anti-gay campaigns or something. I think it's kind of died down a little bit. Yeah, whatever. So it was a huge deal to the point where they had just opened one on the corner of Sunset and I think it's La Brea.
Highland.
This is Highland, about 5 years ago when it opened, and it opened right at the time when the story broke. So there was like big giant protests out front of. It was a big deal, like gay marches out front of this Chick-fil-A. Like, how could you go here and blah, blah, blah. So Steve and I were like, hey, you know what? Let's go and take a camera crew with us up to this protest as the Gay Caveman and protest with these people. So there we are.
We got 2 minutes out of it.
We did. It was great. So we go up there. I am full on, like pretty much naked. I have a little tiny loincloth over me and a wig on and a pink bandana, and we just walk out on the street. Now I'm barefoot on the corner of what does he say, Highland and Sunset, which is fucking gross.
Yeah,
and
just stepping on needles.
And people are completely. There's a crazy Christian woman there reading a Bible. We got her to talk to us, and then we wound up getting on like the local news.
There was a guy there.
There's a guy there doing like a Channel 5 local news. It was a big story. So I just said, screw it, let's go jump into his shot and just jump around. And we got on that, and it was a lot of fun. But these are things. My point is, we could never do today. That's why I love doing this podcast, and I'm still able to make fun of Caitlin and things like that. And it's good to have Steve here. It feels like we're back to the old days of the fun. Anyway, let's cover some stories. Thank you all for putting up with that. Those were fun times. Steve is still here. The one story I want to bring up, which is now everybody knows. I think Alex, you had brought the show up on a previous podcast called "Tidying Up" on Netflix with, and it's huge now. Marie Kondo, I think she's Japanese woman who tells like basically white trash people to clean up their houses. It's no different than Hoarders, really. The show. I mean, Hoarders has been doing it for years over on TLC or whatever it's on, and I think Marie Kondo seems nicer and easier to digest. Yeah, exactly. Like in Hoarders, it's like court ordered. It's like an FBI agent has to come and tell us he's got to clean up.
We're burning it down.
Yeah. Like it's not a nice person that comes over and goes, "Oh, take away this fishbowl, no good." Like it's
like that's something you can't do.
Yeah, it's like an FBI agent who comes and goes like, "Clean up your fucking house." Like the neighbors are complaining, there's rats everywhere. So Marie Kondo is now, it's become like this phenomenon of people cleaning up. Now, let me also say that I've been inside Steve's home, and Steve's got a nice house. I haven't been, well, Alex doesn't have a house, but it's a story for another day, Steve. We'll get to that. But
it's tidy, though.
It is. It has to be.
I'm a minimalist. I did it before Marie.
Yeah, he lives in his car.
He
lives in a car. It's a true story.
Okay.
It's a true story.
By choice. Good times. We don't need to focus.
Jewel did that for a while and it worked out.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like Jewel.
He's a lot like Jewel. In many ways, he's a lot like Jewel. He's a great guy. Just chooses to live in his car. That's his business, man. It's the new world. Anyway, let's not focus on that. So, this Marie Kondo. Now, are you familiar with the show, Steve?
A little bit.
A little bit. So you've heard about it. Yeah, it's become like a cultural phenomenon. So people have going crazy cleaning up their homes because of this show. Now, what she says basically, right, Alex? She says, if it doesn't bring you joy, you hold it.
When you hold
take
it.
whatever you think about, get rid of. Say you have something in your house that you've had forever, and you hold it for a little while, and I think there's a certain amount of time. I'm not sure. You have to hold it for a certain amount of time.
That I don't know, but
and if it brings you joy, you keep it. If you're feeling no joy as you hold it, you throw it away. Like I have a Starbucks cup in front of me right now.
Like your voter's registration.
But I see in my head, if I'm thinking about it's bringing me joy, then it's bringing me joy. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to trick myself into thinking I'm a minimalist. I don't have junk in my house at all. I get rid of everything. Like things I probably shouldn't get rid of, like trophies from when I was a kid. I'm like, throw it all away. I have no I don't look back on things and go, oh, it's sentimental. Gone. Throw it away. Gone. More so now than ever.
I keep everything.
Yeah,
I am that guy.
Yeah,
I've got boxes of just stuff,
like concert. You a concert ticket guy and stuff. Yeah,
like all my record albums that I'll never listen to.
I just.
Although now you listen to them, vinyl's back. So
I know, but records are different. Records. So anyway, these people. So the point of the story is, it was in the Washington Post yesterday, the day before. Basically the story is now because I noticed. I was walking. I was in town this weekend, which I'm never actually in Los Angeles on a weekend. I'm usually out, performing. But I stayed in LA and I'm walking around my neighborhood, and it was a Saturday morning, and I saw 15 garage sales. I can live like a neighborhood where there's garage sales, on people's driveways and front lawns and stuff. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, there's so many garage sales. And I said to myself, I was like, I bet it's this Marie Kondo. I bet these people are all watching this Netflix show and saying, because nobody's got anything good. Like, it's just like it's like old vases, whatever they call vases, and just like garbage shit out on a sheet in their driveway. So then I read the story. I get home, and in the Washington Post, they have a story about how these Goodwills and Salvation Army and all these places, we used to have St. Vincent de Paul. Remember that one? That was the place we used to bring stuff. Mm-hmm. My mother used to say, take it to St. Vincent de Paul, which is like a church organization that used to take like old clothes. So they're getting overrun now by garbage. And I always get mad when we're bringing stuff to Goodwill, and because I go to Goodwill's kind of a lot. When you're on the road, in certain cities, some cities, you're in cities that are not Chicago and New York and LA and Miami. Sometimes it's kind of fun to just go into a Goodwill and kind of fucking walk around for a couple hours. You got nothing to do in the daytime. So I kill a lot of time. And if I'm in a comedy condo, and actually the one I'm going to in Calgary, I'll remodel the fucker. I really will. Like this, at a Goodwill, because I have an eye for that kind of shit. And like the guy,
sounds like a show.
The guy in Calgary actually said, he goes, I can't believe it. Like this guy, he tells all the other comedians, like Franjola like redecorated the condo, but I was there for like 6 days. I was going insane. I put in new, I spent fucking $200 at a Goodwill and redid the entire place. I'm going to do it to this studio too. I swear I am. So, anyway, so people are taking junk now, and these Goodwills have to say, we don't want it. We don't want your junk. So Marie Kondo is getting everyone that it's bringing joy. It's not bringing joy to them, so it's bringing joy to no one. Nobody wants your shit. Like when you go to a Goodwill, you want to see kind of decent stuff. You don't want to see just garbage, the old Scooby-Doo cups, from the fucking gas station you just get for free.
Yeah, you want a clean pair of Levi's. You don't want...
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you never get good jeans. The jeans are always, from 10 years ago. I made Steve one time, going back to Steve and I working together for years. We worked together for many years. And, like one of the good people of the world out there. And in the city, you don't meet many. And he is truly one of them. I had to make him throw out a pair of jeans one time. And I said, you gotta... He had these jeans on that, should have been thrown out 10 years. They wouldn't. I don't know if they were bringing him joy. They weren't bringing me joy to watch him in them. And if Marie Kondo wasn't even born yet. And I made him. I said, you got to throw them away. And he did. He took them off and he threw them away. And he sent me a picture of them in the garbage. And finally, they were gone. Now look at him now. He looks amazing. He's got a nice pair of slim-fitting jeans on.
These are my good pairs.
I love the picture in the garbage, because this article about Marie Kondo, it's people just posting pictures of all their trash. And they're like, look, we're like hashtag tidying up.
I know.
Your food was better than your trash pile.
And then they take it to Goodwill, and I feel bad now. There's a it's not a Goodwill, it's a Salvation Army by my house where I live in Los Angeles, and I go quite a bit just to look for records and stuff. And it's kind of fun. I'm into that kind of stuff. And a guy who takes the donations there is the nicest guy. He's this real sweet kind of old guy, and I see people literally dropping off garbage at his fucking feet.
He's probably traumatized.
Yeah, and I'm like, this poor guy now, he's basically just taking your garbage and putting it in another garbage can. You've just given him your garbage, like your chore for the day, you're giving it to this poor guy. So people, I know a lot of things aren't bringing you joy, and you're taking your live, love, laugh signs, whatever. It's wine o'clock, that shit sign that you bought at fucking Home Goods or whatever. And, and now it's not as cute as you thought it was when you got it 2 years ago and your mother-in-law laughed at it. But now nobody's laughing anymore. Don't bring it to Goodwill. Nobody, take it and fucking throw it in the garbage, and it'll wind up in the ocean, and a whale will choke on it.
I think, or start teaching
Billy
your
Bass
kids.
things.
Remember the
big mouth?
Yeah,
funny
like that.
A whale,
all that stuff.
What if a whale choked on that?
No, you have a 5-year-old daughter. So there's junk.
Oh my God.
There's junk.
Well, and the junk becomes junk in 2 weeks.
Okay,
like we'll bring a toy home. Oh my God, the grand. And then 2 days later, it's garbage.
Now, do you have to tell people enough? Like, don't bring no more like mother-in-laws and shit like that. Like, no more toys for the kids. Because my nephew, it's like he's a little older now. He's like 9, but when it's ridiculous the amount of. And man, my brother doesn't throw away. He's not 10 years old now, and he's still got books from when he was 3. I'm like, you could throw the book out, like the ABC book. He's smoking. The kid's smoking. He's vaping now. He doesn't need to know. He knows his ABCs.
Maybe not anymore after vaping.
Yeah. So anyway, enough with the junk, everybody.
I have some numbers from that article that are kind of.
Oh, good. Thank you, Alex. See, this is what Alex. Every now and again, Alex will start. He actually does some work. And then there'll be 3 weeks. There'll be 3 weeks where he just sits there and does absolutely nothing, and then he comes back, and I love it. I love to have him on board.
Once every 2 weeks
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Go ahead, Alex. What do you got? What are your numbers?
All right. So at the Gaithersburg location in D.C. outside of...
So this is a Goodwill.
Goodwill.
In Maryland.
Goodwill.
Okay.
So it says donations at D.C. area Goodwill centers were up 66% over the last year for the first week of January. At the Gaithersburg location, they're up 372%. So that's 4 times the amount of garbage at a Goodwill.
And it's just shit.
Yeah.
It's like 7,200 ShamWows.
Yeah, right. Like that's the kind of shit people are bringing, like old towels and underwear. I mean, it's whatever. But hey, as long as people are tidying up, and then of course, if you're the person who's untidy, I believe. You're just gonna, like, I always, when I watch hoarders,
they're the people buying all that shit for $1.
That house is gonna be like, go back. I want to see the one where you go back to the hoarder house a year later, because it's gonna be complete shit again.
Here's a question.
You didn't get mental health. You just
exactly. It's just mental health. Yeah.
The Salvation Army gets the 7,200 tramways or whatever.
Okay.
What do they do with this stuff?
They sell it.
No. When they don't,
I know.
The 72, they're not going to sell, right?
Yes.
So at some point they got to give it. Who do they give it to?
That's
Goodwill.
No. It goes to a garbage dump.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
I believe.
No, third, see, prisons.
To go
Nairobi. Like
maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it could. You see.
That was one of our old jokes with the.
Oftentimes you see the kids. It's every joke now. Like anytime soup.
That's going to be couches instead of failed Super Bowl teams.
I mean, it's like I know. I think we've talked about this before, Alex, on the podcast. I'm fascinated by garbage and where it all goes. Like, because as a guy who stays in hotels every weekend, every hotel now has the skinny TV, the small the TV we all have. But yet, 5 years ago, they had the big giant back TV. They all did. So then you go into the hotel and you're like, all right, there's 85 rooms in this hotel. There's 85 giant back televisions. And now multiply that. You worked in Vegas. So multiply all those rooms with those giant back televisions. So 10. How many rooms are in Vegas? 25,000 rooms in Las Vegas?
I mean, no, it's probably.
Is it higher than that?
I think it's like up near 80. I think. Or
okay.
So
there was one point where every one of those things had a fact. Where did they all go? Right. Where are those giant? Remember how heavy they were? Yeah. They were 400 pounds. These TV. Where is that now? I mean, it's got to be somewhere. I don't know if this
Staten Island.
Who knows? Anyway, I'm always fascinated.
Hold on here. 150,000 hotel rooms in Vegas.
Jesus, is that what it is now?
I mean, that's probably counting Green Valley Ranch.
And the Henderson.
But still, all those places probably had that old TV.
And there's some weekends you go out there and I remember one time it's sold out. Yeah. They're like, we have no rooms in the entire city. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if it's still that way, but I remember a couple of years ago, me and my friends went and they're like, we don't have any room. There's nothing.
A lot of like EDC weekends and stuff where it's like, they call them citywide conventions where like they'll be at every
EDC
property.
Is Electric Daisy Carnival. Steve,
wow.
Do you know what this is?
No.
Okay.
I'm proud to not.
No, don't be proud. Don't be proud. Because you'd probably have a ball. Let me tell you, wouldn't it be good if we give Steve?
We should get Steve to go
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Well, you wear pasties. Steve.
Pasties on his nipple, give him a little shorts. He's out there dancing to
neon green
Avicii or whatever the fuck their name is. He's dead.
Douche, right?
No, but it's even more than that now. It's a little different than that. But cute people like that, and there's always like two people die. Like one kid walks off into the desert.
It kind of started the whole music festival craze, and it's in Vegas. It's literally hundreds of thousands of people, and
Electric Daisy Carnival. We talked about this in a very early podcast. It's one of those things I'm a little bit jealous of, like that. I'm old now, and I look at it and
music
go,
festival.
I kind of missed it. I
think we talked about Burning Man.
Yeah, I wish I was a part of that, like that world. Like I could be. If I wish I was 21 again and was like the guy who had the flowers in his hair, just dancing at Electric Daisy Carnival. I could do it.
Now when I see this, all I think about is parking. When I see one of those places, there's 100,000 people.
Yeah,
where did you? So that's the only thing I.
But in Vegas, you take like a Uber or something.
Well, so it's out at the racetrack in Vegas.
Yeah,
it's at the racetrack. It's like 4 or 5 hours to get from the racetrack to the Strip, which is a 30-minute drive without traffic.
Oh, really?
It's like hours to get.
That's how crazy this is. What time of the year do they do it?
It's usually like June, I think, or like it's overnight.
Oh, so it's hot as fuck.
Maybe it might even be May, maybe. But they do it overnight for that purpose.
All right.
And they draw it like people will leave there at 2 in the morning.
There's not one person who listens to this podcast who goes to EDC. If there is, please write me on the Facebook page.
Your kids might, and you should know what's going on.
Oh, I think it's great. I have a couple like Instagram followers who go to EDC. And by the way, everyone follow me on Instagram. I need 500 more followers to get to 30,000, and it's been a long time. I'm waiting a lot.
And I need 500 followers to get to 600.
But yeah, I'll see like cute girls and guys at these EDC things that I get a little jealous of that lifestyle. I must admit. But now I'm just what it is. I'm tidying up my house, Marie Kondo, holding a vase, and people are dancing at this ED whatever. Fucking, I'm sitting there holding a vase, and it brings me joy on a Tuesday afternoon in my kitchen like an idiot. All right, what do we got? Anything else, Steve? You had a story. Oh, Steve had a story about Justin Timberlake.
JT.
Well, I mean, it's
Steve. Okay,
you
Justin Timberlake,
cover to cover. It's in the newspaper.
Exactly. That's why we call the cover to
now,
cover.
the newspaper, of course, is from 2-3 weeks ago. It's such an old story.
That's okay, but we can. This is a story that's still
evergreen.
Fresh. Evergreen.
The reason I picked up because I remember years ago back in
this
Chelsea
Gayle King
days.
story. We talked about Gayle King last week.
But he was the peak guy. Like there was a moment where biggest guy in the world,
Justin Timberlake.
Like remember Chelsea went. And then she was backstage and to Staple. We thought, my God, Justin Timberlake. And now it's like,
well, because here's the thing with Justin Timberlake. He was a very talented guy. He was of the NSYNC guys. He was the most talented. I remember watching the video for, I think it's Bye Bye Bye, where it was like a 10-minute video, and it had some like as an action sequence, and he was running away from these Doberman pinchers, and he like rolls on the ground, and these Doberman pinchers are chasing him, and then this like gate comes down just in time, and he like looks at the camera, and he goes and runs off. And I remember at that point, I'm like, that kid's a fucking star. He's not Chris Kirkpatrick, he's not JD Chazé or whatever. He's the
real
fucking
deal.
He's the one who's going to take off. And it wasn't soon after that. Of course, he was. Then they were trying to make him a movie star. They put him in some movies, and I remember I got caught up in one of them. I like to. I suffer from a thing, and I think everybody does. Called Jen Kirkman, my friend Jen Kirkman, and I like to call it plain emotion, where you will watch a movie or a TV show or read a book on a plane, and it affects you differently than it does on the ground.
why is that? It's
true. It is true, right?
I cried every movie on the plane.
It's called. I don't know if it's altitude or something, but it's plain emotion. I just think your all your sense of this is my theory on it, and I could be way off. I think when you're flying, you're so out of control. You control nothing when you're in a plane. Like if the plane decides to fucking crash, there's nothing you could do about it. So everything about you is like a little more free than it is on the ground. So even your emotions are. Is that am I making any sense?
I bet there's some clinical thing we don't know about.
Yeah. I've looked it up.
I did.
Well, we call plain emotion. So you'll watch a movie and then you'll land. And then you'll rave about it to your friends. Like, so there was I forget the name of the movie. Mila Kunis. Look it up, Al.
Friends with Benefits? Was it that one?
No, Mila Kunis and Timberlake. Is that Friends with Benefits?
Yeah, there were two like friend hookup ones. It was
around the same time. Guy Branum was in one of them.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was around the same time. But I think you might be right. It might be called Friends with Benefits. Anyway, I loved it. I thought he was I was like, this kid is going to be Tom Hanks. This career.
Social Network. And
but he was, he was the third lead in Social Network. So that's fine. But I think that's the career he should have done. He should have been. I think he could do it again. I seem to have like gotten out of the movies completely. But I think what happens with musicians who get into movies like
Bon Jovi.
Well, and they do it for a little while and then they're done. I think what happens is, I think they get bored by it because you're Bon Jovi, you're Justin Timberlake, you're Lady Gaga, all these Beyonce, all these people who have done movies. When you come from performing in front of 75,000 people and they're freaking the fuck out, and you're getting instant gratification from 75,000 people at the Rose Bowl. Then you go do a movie, you're like, this is so fucking boring. There's nobody cheering for me. I'm sitting in a trailer for most of the day. Then I go out and work for 10 minutes, go back to the trailer, nobody's cheering. Then you're like, I did 3 of them. I'm done. It's boring. I'd rather go play the Rose Bowl and have people cheer, go completely insane for me. And I get instantly, I'm feeling it, So I think what like superstar pop person, they've all gone on to do movies.
Especially his shows.
But who has gone on to like have like a 25-year acting career?
None of them. Well, you think Lady Gaga can?
Well, yes, Lady Gaga can because she's also a good actress, and
she also played a musician. It's not fair.
But you watch, Lady Gaga will get bored by it. Look at Beyonce. Beyonce was fucking. After Dreamgirls, I think it was Dreamgirls, right? Like they were like, she is going to be a fucking movie star. She's like, fuck that, I'm bored. This is boring. And she's, I don't see her do. She'll probably do movies again, but and I think Timberlake, same thing. Timberlake's like, I could do another boring movie that probably won't do very well at the box office and or I can go play the Staples Center in front of 18,000 people. Anyway, your story being he got a kind of a bad review.
Yeah, this guy wrote some awful things. I mean, he said basically he knelt down at the end of Mirrors, and you thought he was doing it for effect, but he was doing it because he needed a little rest.
Well, what is he, 40 now? He's got to be 40-something now, right? Timberlake's 38, 40, but certainly not at the age where he's got to lay down for rest.
No, but he had some troubles. He had some throat problems or something last year.
Yeah.
He had to cancel some gigs. But it's at the end of the show, he zoomed through Rock Your Body and Like I Love You so hastily.
Every day. That was a good one.
Yeah, he ran through it so hastily you could practically smell the Vicks Vapo rub awaiting in the.
Now this is one of those people.
He wants to hear him. He wants to hear his own voice.
Right. I hate that. I hate reading a review where the guy's he's doing a shtick, and I'm like, all right. Anyway, I'm all for Timberlake. I have no beef with that guy. He seems like a good dude. I don't know him. I've never met him, but just like I always assume people are nice guys. I mean, this guy could have bodies in his basement. I have no fucking idea, but when I see him on a red carpet, he seems nice, and the wife seems nice, and I'm all about him. Good for him. Get out there and do it. And whether he's, the Rolling Stones are going back on tour this summer, and that's whatever they are doing. That's unbelievable.
And Mick Jagger, doesn't he have a 20-year-old wife or something?
Well, he just had another kid, but that's fine. But the one that nobody talks about is Charlie Watts, the drummer, who I think is 82. And he's battled cancers and it kind of hates the whole thing. Like, you ever watch videos of the Stones? He's just fucking, furious in the background. But it's amazing, man. Like, Timberlake's taking a knee, and Jagger goes, and they don't fuck around. They go for 3 hours. Like, even your guy, Springsteen. Yeah. But Springsteen's still 15 years younger than Jagger, I think.
I heard Jagger works out 2 hours a day to keep up his performance. Like, he's just working out.
I mean, the guy's also, he's got like a body of a little woman. He still wears like half shirts and shit.
Probably the blood of a little woman. Isn't he like the blood transfusion guy?
No, that was Keith Richards. But that's what they say. I mean, I don't know if that's a rumor or not, but dope. Greatest story of all time was, first of all, on several levels, that he was on vacation years ago on some island somewhere. It was just like amazing to hear about it. Like, these guys just have the greatest. Like, could you imagine like being one of those? Because we were just famous since you were like 20.
For 50 years, he's one of the most famous people on the planet.
And not only that, so everything you do is first class. You know what I mean? Like, every hotel you go into, you never stay at where I stay. You never like, you know what? This Hilton Garden Inn will do. They got the free breakfast. It's fine.
Jagger's like, can I change rooms? He's like calling to. I'm right near the elevator.
It's never like, okay. Like, is the waffle machine on? Because I feel like it's just taking a long time. This waffle machine, is it on? Mick Jagger's not doing that. It's. I guess. Like,
Keith, could you put the do not disturb on the door? Because
but I guess in some cities that they don't have a Four Seasons. So when the Stones play Omaha, I'm not saying Omaha's a pretty big city, but you know what I mean. Like, they must have to go to another city to. Anyway, my point is, since they were 20 years old, they've been treated to this VIP world of we talk about it on a recent podcast, how the lore of the VIP world is what got that Michael Jackson kids, the parents of those kids, that's all they wanted. Yeah. They said, you could fucking go ahead and sleep with them because private jets, we want. Even the Fire Festival documentary, those idiots, those fucking dopes who spent $10,000 think they were going to an island to watch, Blink-182 with models, because they wanted, they offered them a VIP lifestyle, like a VIP this, VIP. You and I, we lived VIP lifestyle for a little while. Now I'm at the Hilton Garden Inn with the fucking waffle machine on the fronts.
And a flat TV.
Yeah, but I got a flat TV.
You got a flat TV.
But I have to tell you, there are some, every now and again, I'll walk into a hotel room, whatever city I'm in, that still has a big back television. You're like, this is going to be a long weekend. Oh, God.
Now, if the omelet machine, the waffle machine doesn't work, will they give you a voucher or something?
That's interesting you bring that up, because I do have a bit of a beef with that. I rarely make the buffet because it's usually from like 6 to 6:45 a.m. Yeah. This is great if you're a rooster, but a lot of times I'll have to do morning radio.
Rooster on Ritalin.
Yeah,
get through the buffet.
A lot of times I'll have to do the morning radio, and so I'll come back from the radio and I'll be able to make it. And it is such a joy. Although somebody recently told me that the eggs are like not real. They're like they're made out of,
They're break free.
Oh, yeah. Those
they're like powder. It's like powdered eggs. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. But I still I go back like four times. I love powdered scrambled eggs out of like that, vat. But some of them have, you don't stay in a hell of a lot of hotels these days, but you do when you're out there. They have a thing called a pancake machine. Have you seen this thing? It's the greatest. I know for those of you who've stayed in hotels, you can attest to what I'm about to say. It's a pancake machine. You press a button, and it literally makes pancakes within 15 seconds. It's amazing. It shits out like 2 pancakes. Pretty decent. Not, a little rubbery, but not like but it's, and I always thought, from like waiting for your mom to make pancakes and stuff, it seemed like pancakes were a very arduous process. It took for hours. Well, now they got technology. Steve, there's a lot of great things in this world. But have you seen the fucking pancake machine?
No.
It's amazing. 2 seconds, pancakes. I believe, I don't know.
Can you do things like put blueberries in there and stuff like that?
No. I think the batter.
2.0 though.
2.0,
Yeah. You might want to think about coming up with that.
Get blueberries and chocolate chips on the next one.
I think the batter was within the machine somehow. I don't know. It's magic.
That could be the next restaurant, like the pizza places where you put your own. And then
right. This is magic. It's magic, but it's incredible. The pancakes, and if I do make the breakfast buffet, as a matter of fact, I was just in a city. I forget where I was, and the woman was so nice, but she was working the breakfast buffet in the middle of nowhere, and it was her and her daughter. She was probably 55, and the daughter was probably 25. They both worked it. It was a generational thing. They both worked at this hotel, which is probably not a bad gig in the middle of nowhere. You're working for Hilton, it's fine. But the one woman had known I was the comedian in town that weekend. So she kept, every time I went to the breakfast buffet, this is 8 o'clock in the morning, she'd go, he's going to do his bit. She had no tooth, no front tooth, which is, I do a bit on this in my act, but the no front tooth to me is just shockingly, it's like, you got to put something there. Loose leaf paper, some shit, you can't leave the house.
Unless you're Michael Strahan and it's your thing.
But that's his space. That's not a fucking no tooth.
Right. Is there anybody famous?
No. Well, let's hope not. I mean, the no tooth just says there's not, you have to put it in something. You got to get something there. Put something, a piece of, I don't know, a Tic Tac, anything. Put something there, just magic. She has no tooth. And she would scream out, there's people eating there, families. He's the comedian this weekend. He's the comedian. Do your act for the people. They're yelling. Do your act. I'm like, no, it's fine. No, please, no. Like, first of all, I'm so embarrassed by the fact that even people saying I'm a comedian. I don't know why. Still to this day, it embarrasses me. Like, it embarrasses me. Like at social, like when my mother goes, "Chris is a comedian," because when people think comedian, they don't think Jerry Seinfeld. They think, oh, what a sad. They think open mic, like sad life.
They think, what was that Adam Sandler movie?
Right. So I feel like I have to no, I'm actually a successful comedian. Like what do you mean? Like I play the funny bone. Like, oh, that sounds sad. Maybe it is, but whatever the fuck. It's like, don't tell anybody I'm a comedian. I'd rather you tell them I'm a fucking serial killer than a comedian.
An electrician.
There you go. Right. Exactly. Like so the woman would scream this out, and then I was like, I can't. I would get up early every day, and I can't go down to that breakfast buffet now because that woman's gonna fucking start screaming about doing stand up for people. So that ruined it for me. But when I do make it, it is fantastic. Do we spend enough time on breakfast buffets?
Once in a while, they'll be.
This is what we. Good. Hang on, Steve. This is this is what we call a evergreen. this is
we can do 20 minutes on a buffet.
This is so. Listen, people, don't judge me on this episode because we're just having a little fun here. Like I said, sometimes I'm going to have to do these because I'm going to be out of town. So I hope you're enjoying just chatter about stupidness and pancake machines and. Anything, Steve? Did you have another story? A Justin Timberlake story?
Not really. That's about it.
That's it. That's all you brought. I told you to bring topics that you might be interested in.
I did bring a couple. Did them 2 weeks ago. Don't you remember? Way back 2 weeks ago.
Did you? Now, your boy Donald Trump. Did you see his thing about when he? I couldn't stop watching it. I watched it 100 times. When he called the guy Tim Apple. Tim Apple.
Why can't he just admit it? It's fine.
But obviously, it was a slip of the tongue. Yeah, I mean, obviously he had
doing a whole
he had like
I
several
called him
things.
that because I wanted to shorten. This guy did a speech for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Right.
And now he wants to save time.
Yeah.
With this guy's name. So I just said Tim Apple.
Tim Apple.
I mean, You know,
Thanks, Tim Apple. It's amazing. Now, the other thing that has been fascinating me lately, and I'm not. People get mad at me when I say it because they think I'm making fun of Donald Trump and I'm making fun of Melania, and I'm not. I think it's just a Secret Service thing. That there is a fake Melania.
And there's two of them, supposedly.
Right. It is one. And I recently posted a picture of he went to the tornado victims down in, what was that in
Alabama.
In Alabama. And it was obviously not Melania. She was 6 inches shorter. And I happen to know, I have a little bit inside knowledge on the woman who plays Melania. She's a Secret Service woman. I don't want to tell the details of how I know, but she's a Secret Service woman who is Melania with a wig and a whole fucking thing. I mean, honestly, I don't think you could do it with Michelle Obama or even, I don't know if you could do it with Laura Bush because Melania always wears sunglasses and has the hair. You could put sunglasses and a hair on and kind of almost do it, And this one who showed up in where was
Alabama?
it? Alabama? Not even close. Not even close.
I mean, like Shirley Hemphill.
It looked like Caitlyn. Just not even trying anymore. Just like just like a wig and like a like a regular face. And Melania's a beautiful woman, but not that this woman's not, but it's obviously not the same person. And there's been a few times where Donald has said in speech and stuff, "I wish Melania could be here right now," and she's standing right there, but it's not her. Like that's why he said that.
He'll get away with it.
Oh, I know, but the reason I'm not, when I say these things, I'm not making fun of Melania or Donald Trump. Like I don't have any beef with Donald Trump. I don't give a shit. But there is definitely a second Melania for, I think it's Secret Service reasons. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
You've seen the pictures, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you've seen the fake Melania photos. Okay. Steph. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that I'm fascinated.
I think
by
it was like a casting. How do they find her?
Well, you ever see that movie Dave with Kevin Kline? Wasn't there a fake? Oh, he was the fake one, right?
Because he looked just.
He would just do.
The guy, remember, he died. The president died.
Yes.
Having sex or something.
Yes, that's right.
Or was it a
That's
coma?
a great movie.
That movie is phenomenal.
I'll tell you a weird story. One time, I'm sitting. I used to go back when I used to go to the movies. I don't know why. I mean, I just don't think the movies are as good anymore. And I sound like a crazy old man now, but I used to go to the movies 3 times a week. I mean, I see everything. And one day I went to the movies and I'm sitting in the afternoon. There's 3 people in the theater. I forget what I was seeing. I'm sitting all by myself and 2 other people in the theater. So in comes sauntering this crazy old homeless woman, like a lot of plastic bags and shit. And I'm like, oh, great. She starts coming down my aisle. I'm like, oh, there's 1,000 other aisles. We go down another aisle. She comes like right 1 seat in between us and sits down. And she goes, hi. I was like, hi. Movie hadn't started yet. I'm like, hi, how you doing? She goes, you know what movie I like? I was like, what? She goes, Dave. At this point, the movie's 20 years old. I was like, oh, yeah, no, but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Well. And then whatever movie we were there to see started, and we never spoke about Dave again, but it was her favorite movie, Dave. I hope that woman's still around.
I thought you were going to say it was Sigourney Weaver.
No, Dave.
Was she in Dave?
She is. She's the first lady. She's the first lady. She's excellent. Sigourney Weaver's excellent. Anyway, what else can we talk about?
We got to do the song.
Sure. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to be perfectly honest with people. We are taping this all in one day. We're about 3 hours into talking about things, and I'm having fun here with Steve and Alex, so I'm losing my mind a little bit, and my eyes are hurting, and I'm wearing weird sunglasses. I got prescription sunglasses. I saw Ray-Bans in the store, and I said, "Can you make those prescription for me?" And the woman goes, "Yeah." I said, "You could put my prescription in a sunglass." She goes, "Yeah." So I go pick them up, and they're like big, thick, like glass. I can't see shit without my glasses. So I thought they were going to be like Ray-Bans, but look at how thick they are. I mean, I look like a crazy old man.
That's a hard frame.
It
for
is.
A thick
I know
lens,
that exactly. Oh, so you know about? Yeah,
I worked in glasses for a long
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would have advised way against it. She was just trying to make a sale.
I know. But you know what? She did give me the Ray-Ban, the actual Ray-Ban lenses too, so I could pop them back in if I choose to. Anyway. Here we go. My favorite. Did you get a song?
I got a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has become my favorite part of the show, and I don't know what it has to do with anything. We initially started this podcast to be cover to cover and to discover news stories and things like that. But for some reason, Alex and I one day started talking about the difference between songs from when I was growing up and songs today, and I love them both. I really do. but it's amazing comparing the two. And I have a great one for today. And Alex, what do you got? What is the number one song in the country currently?
We are.
Let's hear it.
So we had number 1 a few weeks ago. We're going to go with number 2.
Ooh, I love it. Number
Middle
2.
Child by Mr. J. Cole. He's a fantastic hip hop artist. Are you familiar with J. Cole?
You know what? I'm not. But it's just J, not J-A-Y. J. Cole.
J. Period.
I do. J. Period.
Yeah,
Cole.
J.
I've seen it. This is one of those ones where, I recently saw he played the Forum. It sold out 2 nights. And I was like, I never even heard of him. Sold out 2 nights. J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Not that he's bad. Probably great. Let's hear it. What's the name of the song?
This is called Middle Child.
Middle Child by J. Cole. Oh, I like it already. Oh, that's this kind of stuff. Oh, that's good. Oh, I can't say that.
No.
I can't believe you just said that. He said the N-word.
Oh, number 4. No. Oh, yeah.
No, we can't say that. I'm sorry about that, everyone.
Well, you know what's funny about that
on this podcast
is that relates to the song we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's a good point.
In the same, it's kind of
nice lead-in, Steve. Very nice, perfect lead-in.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, you are a professional. That's fantastic. Because the song, I have to get it up now. The song, do you have it up?
The lyrics.
You have. Get the song up for us and play it into your microphone. Can you play it? It's ready. Okay, the song we're going to do is shocking. What we were just talking about.
Is it?
Halfbreed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me pull it up.
Okay. Alex,
I'll pull it up.
It's Halfbreed by Cher. This was a song that Cher had, big hit. It wasn't Sonny and Cher though. This was solo Cher.
This was right after the big sort of breakup.
The big breakup. Yeah, this was not Sonny and Cher. They had they were of course Sonny and Cher and had some big hits and a TV show, which was Steve and I were discussing this before the show. My first feeling in my loins was Cher. I remember it like it was fucking yesterday. I was about 7 years old, and I used to love Sonny and Cher. And I just remember it being like appointment television at the Franjola house. Like we watched Sonny and Cher at the variety shows. I loved variety shows. Donnie Marie, Sonny and Cher, all of them. Loved it.
You know, my first crush was
who?
Chastity.
Yeah,
Chastity, when she was
when they used to bring her out as a little tiny baby. Now she's Chaz.
I swear to God, I remember when she came out. I was like,
I can tell you another story about that. I knew. When I didn't even know what lesbians were. I knew that girl. I was like, that girl is a lesbian or whatever. She trans now, but I knew it. I she used to get a little. She was probably by the time the show ended, probably 4, and I could spot it. I knew 4. A little bit.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, I spotted. I had a neighbor, Marco Say. Marco Say. I spotted him when he was 2 years old. I remember telling the neighborhood kids, Marco Say is a gay man. And sure enough, now he's 40 years old now, but flamingly gay. I have a sixth sense for that sort of thing. So if you ever want to bring your kids to my shows, I can tell you if they're going to be gay or not. Not that it's bad.
Yeah. We're going to get to the song you're in.
Anyway, so here we go. The song's called Halfbreed by Cher. It was a big solo hit for Cher. And basically what it is now, if you watch the video, Cher is not Indian at all. I think she's Armenian.
Yeah, Sarkeesian.
Yes, Sarkeesian, whatever. And I love Cher. We actually kind of met her one time in Vegas.
Oh yeah, backstage.
I was with Steve.
We took a little tour of backstage. We
did a little tour of her backstage. Chelsea they were both performing in the same venue. Cher did the early show. Chelsea did the late show. So we actually got to kind of see Cher and all her craziness. And it's just fascinating. She's like one of those women who just has continuously been amazing for, 50 years now?
Literally 50 years.
And doesn't seem to give a shit. Like I follow her on Twitter and she just says amazing ranty
dates
things.
Bagel guys.
Yeah, she's just been great forever. And
tennis stars.
I remember one of my first jokes ever. I read an article about, I think it was Rolling Stones or whatever. 2 of the Rolling Stones had dated her. Like Bill Wyman and Mick Jagger had dated her. And I said, in the Rolling Stones, her name takes on a whole different meaning. Get it? Cher. Yeah. So that was like one of my first jokes I ever wrote.
Wow. Nice.
Thank you. It's pretty good, right? Pretty good.
You want me to bring it in from the top?
Let's bring it in from the top. So yeah, if you know the song, go watch the video because she is dressed like a full Indian where she'd be arrested by doing it today. But here goes. This is the song. It's classic Cher voice. My father married your Cherokee. My mother's people were ashamed of me. Yes, I mean, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. They said I was white by law. You couldn't say that. Indian Squaw. Wow, that's pretty good. God, I forget how good these songs are when I hear them.
What year was this?
Oh,
73.
73.
Yeah.
I think that might have been. Yeah.
Not written by Indians, by the way. Written by
some Jewish guy.
Yeah.
Written by Murray Langstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it written by?
No, Al Capps and Mary Dean.
Oh, really?
Tandem.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. At the end, they kicked her. She said something about they kicked me out of the country because I was half-breed.
At the end, I was expecting just a close in with a tear coming
Remember
down.
that? Ironized Cody.
Oh, yeah.
I used to.
They threw trash on him on the side of the road.
Yeah,
right?
they didn't throw trash at him.
It was
He
it
just
hit the
saw it.
ground. And
Yeah. You're going way back, Steve. But it was like the most famous commercial of all
it was on
time.
for 20 years.
I love that you're still playing Halfbreed over it. That's pretty good, Alex. That's just nice. Anyway, I am enjoying the shit out of bringing these songs back. And I know a lot of you people are too, because I'm hearing a lot about it. We did Seasons in the Sun, and you were like, I forgot how amazing that song was. Basically just about, I'm dying, everybody.
Terry Jacks.
Yeah, Terry Jacks. Halfbreed, amazing song. Thank you, Cher, for that. And Cher continues to, go on to have these gems, and she just makes movies now, and Mamma Mia too, and she's the best. The best. Bob Mackie dresses and all of it. And like I said, she was my first, I remember her walking out at the end with Sonny and those outfits, those half shirts and that body. She was the first sinewy, body type, wide shoulders and not unlike Caitlyn today, with those wide shoulders.
Grace.
I love a shoulderless gown so I can show off my beautiful shoulders. I didn't throw a javelin in 1977. I have fucking no shoulders. All right, everybody. This was a fucked up episode. I feel like we went way. We didn't even do what we were supposed to do. We didn't even open a newspaper. We didn't go cover to cover. We talked about a Justin Timberlake concert from a month and a half ago, and
he's now in Cleveland.
But I had a pretty good time. I'll be in Calgary, and then I'm going to Boston, Laugh Boston, and I'll be talking about that in the next couple. Alex, you are the greatest. Thank you for doing this and being here for as long as you have today. And Steve Malmerstein, one of the good ones. He'll be back.
Thank you.
He'll be back. Bye-bye.